Hey, how are you? It's Margot Mastery, your Heartfelt CFO. I wanted to pop on tonight before the weekend. I hope you all are doing amazing. I wanted to share a little bit of a story, a short story, and I also wanted to share a common theme that was coming up this week that I thought would be helpful. So, how is everybody doing today? I just took a break. I took my dog for a walk, which is really, really exciting for me because, as you all know, I had ankle surgery in October, and I'm basically pain-free at this point, and it's more about strength walking, so it's really, really exciting. And I even got the Apple Watch to help me with steps, with music. And my daughter was right. This is like a mini computer because it just beeps all day. But it's really, really helpful because you set your health goals in there and then it reminds you throughout the day. So one of the goals was like a stand goal, and now it says, time to stand. So I was in a conversation in my kitchen the other day and I was like, okay, time to stand. So it was really, really cool. So last night, my daughter came home from college and she was talking about her day, and she's in architecture, and she was talking about how the studio is set up and it just has stools and how uncomfortable it is. She wished she had a chair, and other people have a chair there. So I was like, okay, let's figure out how to make this happen to get you a chair. And so I had somebody here and he was like, how come the school doesn't give a comfortable chair? Like, what's up with that? Just to have a stool. And at first when it was said, I was like, oh, don't even bother with the school. It's not worth it. But then today, I'll tell you that part after. So anyways, so she was like, can you take me in the morning to school so that I could bring the chair? Because of course we have extra desk chairs in the house. So my mind at first was like, of course I want to, because she's my daughter. Of course I want to take her to school. However, because I was going through this cycle with surgery and whatnot, and how I was starting my day, I wasn't sure. And I quickly aligned with myself and I was like, hell yeah, I'm going to take her and spend the time with her. And I said to myself, who do I need to be tonight to wake up to make sure that I can take my daughter to school, that she's going to go and bring this chair so that she's comfortable. And I took out my clothes the night before, and I set things up so that the morning we can go. And I even was ahead of schedule because I get my work done in the wee hours of the morning so that my day is set and things go as planned. So I actually was ahead of schedule. So I said to her, I was like, hey, you want to go to Dunkin' Donuts? And she was like, she was like, at first she wasn't sure and blah, blah, blah. And she was like, you know what? Let's do it. And, you know, since we moved here, it's been harder to do these things. We were learning to move, and it was really just so nice to sit with her. And it was different than sitting with her in my house. So I got back and we were sitting in some traffic and whatnot. And to hear the music of Thank You, Mommy was just like the best music I can hear. And I share this because sometimes when people ask us things, we're like, who do they think they are? It's like, I can't do that because I got this, that, and like the overwhelm of the mind. I want you to like stop and like think kind of like, do I want this to happen? Give yourself space when these things happen. And it's like, who do I need to be to make this actually happen? And I'm like, I can't be her mother and jump into the car and go take her to school. Like, what is that? So what was even more wild, when she came out of the car, she was like carrying the chair. And I'm like, Pally, her name's Allison, so I call her Pal. I'm like, sweetie, like you could push the chair. So she was like, okay. And then you see her pushing the chair across the street to get into college. And it was the cutest thing to watch her to get into college with all of this. Why do I tell you this story? The story is that, we wear multiple hats in business, and lots of times our mind is built on the default to react versus really look at the situation on who do we want to be and how do we want to show up in the situation. And to hear that when she got into her class, where now she's comfortable today, she has the chair that she needs, she's going to have a great day, and that she knows mommy did it for her, it's the best feeling in the world. And I want you to take that and apply that into your life, kind of like when things happen of like, who do I need to be so that these things could happen? And I can't say it enough that in your day, have these check-ins with yourself on where you're at. It could be clients, kids, parents, family, whatever it is like draining your day. But if you're in your best intention, own that. So I was on with a client this morning, and she was talking about something that was causing her a little strife and stress about a situation that she was trying to do something, and she knows she put her all in. But she let the worry take over, even though it was her full intention that it was really what she can do. But she just sat in the money worry. So we unpacked that a little bit. So where are you sitting in a money worry today that is affecting who you want to be to make things happen? Okay? Now, I know I said I was going to talk about another common factor here, but before I move into that, think about that a little bit. This truly builds magical things throughout the day. And then when it does, make sure to tell me below. Or some of you DM me, which I even love, because I'm getting voice recordings even, which are my favorite. So I want to tell you a story. Actually, no, this is a common question. This is not a story. A common theme this week is around tackling more the actual rate from insurance companies and understanding that even though you're not getting paid more from insurance companies, that our clinicians sometimes still expect more money to grow, even though we're not getting paid as a practice. What I want you to think about is sometimes that it's not the hourly rate that has to happen. It could be other benefits. For instance, it could be more PTO. It could be vacation time. It could be sick time. I just realized those things could be similar and overlap. It could be 401k. It could be medical reimbursements. It could be travel. It could be accessories like cell phone and whatnot. Maybe meals. Maybe health insurance. Get creative on how you can make things happen outside of committing to an hourly rate or a salary that is already a stretch for you. Making yourself stretch more is not the answer so that you keep that person out of fear. What you need to do is realize the stability that you already have and not shake that and possibly create another foundation around it to keep that. By needing maybe like an incentive, maybe 4 times a year, like a quarterly bonus or an end of year or like a mid-year, something for them to think of so that they maintain the relationships with the clients, that they keep them on instead of it being all your responsibility. How can you share the load with the clinicians versus think about yourself independent of needing to do all the things? Now, to close this a little bit, yes, as a business owner, this is the majority of our responsibility. However, it does hurt when our team is not doing their part, which that's the magic of the teamwork, is that they're keeping the values and the culture. I'm seeing a lot also where it's kind of like, how do I keep up in a business in the world where the bigger practices, where people are going? You don't compete. You have distinguishing factors on why people come to you, and that's what you own, and that's who your ideal client is and what you focus on. It may not be a bigger practice, but it's just clearing the air for more of the right clients and the more of the values and the culture that you want to create in your practice. And when that happens, it streamlines things. Like I have one client, she has like over 10 different specialties. It might have even been like 17 or 18. I forgot what they told me. And it's a lot. But what happens is that all those structures, all those practices, all those specialties now need different structures around it. So instead of like maybe focusing on like 5, let's say, instead of like 15, you know, there's a lot more structure, less structures, but then you master it versus being the master of none. Okay, that was a packed live. I hope you enjoyed it. Any questions, as always, let me know. Feel free to re-listen to this because there's a lot of goodies in this one. Talk to you soon.